Hey, double hey, San Francisco Bay, Monterey. My name's Alex Andrew.
And I'm Dr. Shasta.
And we're back with another episode of Your Healthy Living.
Yes.
I love the dress.
Thank you.
It's so nice.
It's springtime.
Now, I'm a little colorblind. I'm not sure. I think it's purple. Is it purple?
Magenta.
Magenta. How many colors of magenta are there?
I have no idea.
I'll see. I kind of match. Is that magenta or that's more pink?
No.
I'm obviously colorblind.
I would say yes.
But it looked like purple to me, but that's okay. But this is actually perfect because it was Easter weekend.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, did you find all the eggs you were hunting for?
I did.
You did? We didn't, for the first time we didn't have an egg hunting thing for the kids. I think the 14-year-old was the most depressed out of all of them because we always put money in the eggs. And he's the one who always got like 70 of them, and his little sister only got 3. And he ended up with the one that had the $50 in it. So we always told him they had to split it anyway. So we just made him buy dinner that night, Easter dinner.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
Teach him how to be a man.
Exactly. Yeah, pay for dinner and that kind of stuff.
Here's your gift now. Go pay for dinner.
And I was kidding about that. But what we're going to be talking about today is no kidding matter. And we have a great guest that we're going to be talking a little bit more, and she's running for office up in San Francisco, and we'd really like to make sure we get her message out there.
We have Leah Pimentel, and she is running for school board up in San Francisco. Leah, you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Hi, yes. My name is Leah Pimentel, and I'm running for the San Francisco Board of Education, and I will be on the November 28th ballot.
Yay! 28th. That's coming up, man. That'll be here fast.
And you have a number of people endorsing you. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I have been endorsed by Senator Scott Wiener, Assembly Member David Chiu, our Sheriff Vicki Hennessy, Supervisor Malia Cohen, Supervisor Catherine Stefani, our Public Defender Jeff Hadachi, Fiona Moff, the Chair of the Board of Equalization, President of the San Francisco School Board, former Shaman Walton, School Board Trustee Chanel William, and Thea Selby as well.
Wow, that's a hell of a resume right there.
That really is, yeah.
Well, and that's kind of cool because you've been pretty vocal in the community there, and I'm sure that's why all these people understand where you're coming from. Have you been attending certain sessions, or how'd you get to know all these people?
Yes, so I've actually been a delegate for the past 7 years.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, for the state party. So I was elected delegate. So I've been quite involved. I was the Chronicle's top 25 people to look out for in 2012 for standing up for women, children, and families.
Wow,
that's so
outstanding.
Neat. And being that we're on Your Healthy Living,
right?
Do you like how I said that? Your Healthy Living.
Mm-hmm.
I've been practicing that in the shower. But anyway,
he's got the radio voice.
you are an advocate of health and that kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So for 2 summers, I actually taught healthy living in the Magis program, which is a program for underserved youth who were most likely in their family to go to college. So I taught them how to live a healthy living with organic foods, different recipes.
You know what? I want to touch base on that as soon as we get back from this break. Okay, Leah? And we'll be right back because I love healthy living. Well, that's why we do this show. So we'll be right back after this commercial break.
At Way of Wellness, we help to rebalance the hormones of your body so that it can heal itself. Way of Wellness offers acupuncture, Chinese medicine, functional nutrition, Chi yoga, and wellness coaching. Call 408-615-1995 and start living the life that keeps us well.
Hey, everybody. We're back with Your Healthy Living. My name's Alex Andrew.
And I'm Dr. Shasta, and we're with Leah Pimentel.
And it's kind of a really cool story. You're in San Francisco. Have you been a resident there for a while?
So I'm actually a 3rd generation from San Francisco.
Wow.
No so I'm a unicorn.
And she was born and raised in Bayview, where she still resides with her husband, Victor, a former police officer, and their 6-year-old son, Lawrence.
How cool. Thank you for your service, Victor. We really appreciate that. That's a heck of a job up there in San Francisco.
Yeah. And she's a parent organizer for Common Sense Kids Action, head of community and customer success for Credit Sesame, a fintech, and she is running for San Francisco Board of Education. And
that's coming up really fast here. We've hit November. I know it's a pretty big election for a lot of folks, and we of course we love the fact that you're into the healthy living aspect and and working. Have you done some work with the schools on that, or is that?
Yes, I have. So I actually created the Healthy Living program and the Magis program for 2 summers, where I taught underserved youth who were most likely in their family to go to college how to have a healthy living style and how to actually have a hands-on approach. So every day we made a different dish and I gave them the recipe so that they could start having a family dinner where you're interacting with your family without devices. You're learning the effects of how your body changes with a healthy lifestyle, learning about fruits and vegetables that you had never seen or touched before.
And that's really interesting too, from the fact of kids growing up with good diets tend to have, better mental capacity. I mean, if you're feeding your body and your mind good food, we tend to be much more level balanced, I guess. Happy. Is that the experience you had with these kids?
Yes, you have more energy. You are being active instead of sitting down. You're like, let me go for a walk or let me get in a fitness regimen. And you start getting intrigued into the healthy living lifestyle. And then it becomes a part of your lifestyle. So it's a good contagiousness within a family, because if you're starting at a young age, you're going to continuously learn more ways to be healthy. And as you start to get older, there's so many illnesses that you can prevent with the healthy living.
That's so true. That's why we do this show.
Yes, we do
and
all sorts of things.
That's why I've been doing as a doctor of acupuncture and natural medicine for 25 years.
Yes, I love acupuncture.
Yes, I do too.
Well, and that also changes the energy flow through the body to help not only the health of the cells in the body, but the brain.
Mm-hmm. It does, and healthy food feeds the friendly bacteria in our second brain, which is our gut, and that calms us down, helps us think, have more cognitive clarity, and helps kids be happier.
And I think being able to find this balance is so important with kind of the main push you have in where you're going with your candidacy here for coming up in November, because there's a big problem and it's all over the news these days.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the problem isn't getting the actual attention. It's been really diluted into all sorts of other, it's this, it's that, it's this. But what it really boils down to is kind of what your passion is. Can you talk a little bit about that, Leah?
Yes. So drawing from my own personal experiences, I was called deaf girl growing up. So I have a profound hearing loss and my hearing continuously decreases. And at some point I will possibly go deaf. So I get by wearing hearing aids and by reading lips. And so I've seen firsthand the cause and effect, how to affect your mental health and physical health. And we have a bully in the White House. And I think it's really time that we end cyberbullying, bullying, and this lifestyle by making it a part of our curriculum. In 2012 was the last and only anti-bullying conference. This needs to be an annual event collaboratively with parents, teachers, educators, and students as well, making bullying a part of the curriculum so that you're understanding the cause and effect as any other subject, but also having an e-pal in the summer where you're emailing another student and the parents are doing the same. You can't discuss economics, race, or where you live. So on the first day of school, you can guess who you've been talking with, but then you're meeting at someone that you never would have interacted with, and building those relationships, eliminating perception and eliminating bullying, because you know someone before you're getting into the classroom. So no one is sitting at a table alone, because you already have someone that you've been interacting with before the first day of school.
I think that's wonderful. And, I just think that I was bullied as a kid also, having grown up on a nature commune and in the 60s. And all of my friends I grew up with were bullied too. And it wasn't easy to come out of that and feel like you're credible and feel like you matter and feel like you're all these things that you're told you're not. Because of the perception of what people are looking at you as, and I think that it's so detrimental to a human being to be put down, labeled, called names, cyberbullied. Especially, it's just like so embarrassing that everybody could think that about you, and very detrimental for people's self-esteem, depression, and even. I believe leads to more school violence. So I think what you're passionate about is the most important health and wellness for our children issue in America today, with the age of technology and the fact that the number 2 leading cause of teenage death is suicide. And there's something called cybercide. And we don't know yet the full ramifications of cyberbullying and suicide. And it's pretty predictable that if people are called a lot of names, and you can see it in the news, that they'll either act out or they could hurt themselves.
It's really interesting. To us, you said the 60s. It wasn't the 60s. It was more like the 70s or 80s. I'm older than you are.
I was born in 1968.
Oh. So, my point comes to that we have this whole new realm of communication. And that realm of communication is, the internet, it's texting, it's Facebook, it's
Instagram,
and
Snapchat.
It's impersonal.
It's impersonal.
It's impersonal in its essence. And I think understanding that, and I love your idea, Leah, of kind of bringing this to the classroom and teaching people where this comes from and how it happens, but to also understand that this non-personal communication, I believe it's been taken so personally that we really do need to teach the kids how to say, okay, well, this is happening, but it's an impersonal way to communicate. I mean, how many times have you got a text and gone, oh my gosh, that's just terrible. And then the other person says, well, that's not really what I meant. Now, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to say that's an excuse for being able to do anything, but I think that the education is so important. And this is why it's important that you, Leah, are running for the Board of Education, because this has got to get into the school systems so that we can have this growth going on. I mean, what do you see as one of the steps to being able to help the educational system work going forward to get this bullying thing out in the open?
Well, one of the things that I have on my campaign website is signing the anti-bullying pledge. And I think that it's having everyone sign up and making a commitment to everyone, because it affects everyone. There's a ripple effect of bullying.
That's right.
And I think that realizing the ripple effect and how it has long-term effect to many people, that this individual and the bullies and those who have been bullied come across with, that everyone needs to be involved and having a clear understanding that it's impacting all of us. Right now, we have a president that's a bully. He's bullying everyone and anyone. So that's another example of a ripple effect. Having people to understand what to look for when they get older in the workforce. If you've been bullied in school, then you probably could get bullied in the workforce. It's a ripple effect, and it takes you down as an individual. And we need to value our children. Children are 10% of the population, but they're 100% of our future.
Right.
I don't want any other child to go through this. And I feel that we as individuals need to come together and eliminate this. We have technology, we have insight, we have creativity. this can be something that can unify us all
and
really make a positive difference.
And I love that.
I do too.
And I think that
I agree
coming
100%.
together as one and being able to communicate is key. We'll touch base on that in just a second after this break.
I do traditional Chinese medicine, and that includes 5 different branches: acupuncture, massage, yoga, tai chi, qigong, herbal medicine, and nutrition. It is amazing in helping the body heal itself, that it releases the body's natural endorphins, serotonin, and seems to rebalance the hormones of the body.
Lower back pain was taken care of very quickly, 6 treatments, and I was pain-free. And this was like 3 years ago, and I've remained pain-free.
I've grown up in the Bay Area, and I have had my own practice for over 15 years. When I was 12, I decided I want to be an acupuncturist, and by the time I was 25, I was licensed.
I have thyroid condition and stress, big time. When I walk out, I'm feeling like a whole different person. It's definitely a blessing to be able to come here.
I love helping women have babies, and the day that they actually get pregnant, the look in their eye is like, it's the best thing ever.
I've been struggling trying to get pregnant for the past 3 or 4 years. I came to Shasta. I would totally recommend her to anyone out there that is trying to get pregnant. She will do great for you.
Way of Wellness has to do with living a life that keeps us well.
Hi there, this is Alexander with It's All About the Show. You know, I've been with Money Concepts since 1994, and they have been the primary catalyst for my success as a financial advisor. If you're looking for a career change and you want to help people for a living, check out moneyconcepts.com/ALEE or call 946-8378 today. Hey, San Francisco Bay, Monterey. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Dr. Shasta.
And we're back having a great discussion
Very
about
important.
bullying, cyberbullying, what happens to a lot of kids. I mean, I still have kids in school, 10 and 14, dealing with the issue. I have a 28 and a 23-year-old that went through it. I went through it. I probably was a little bit different. I was just short. I think I was 5'4" or something when I graduated from high school, and my middle name was Arn. And everybody called me Arnold the Pig. And I just didn't like that.
I'm sorry.
So actually, I grew up in Iowa, so it kind of fit. Pigs in Iowa. Just kidding. But it hurts, and dealing with this thing is so important. And I think
protecting our children,
right? And having somebody like Leah, I mean, she's got such a passion and an education.
And she has a solution,
and how all this comes about.
Yep. So Leah has fought and stood for policies and programs that support families in San Francisco, help keep our city affordable, and improve outcomes for communities of color and immigrants. She worked closely with Assembly Member David Chiu, then president of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, to pass the Family Workplace Ordinance, a visionary policy that allows employees to request flexible work arrangements when caregiving responsibilities arise for a child, family member, or parent. And she is running for the San Francisco Board of Education this November.
Do you have a website real quick, just in case anybody's tuning in, that they can help support you in this or go out and vote for you?
Yes, my website is my name, www.leahpiedmentel.com, LeahPiedmentel.com.
Wonderful. And so we are talking about the thing you're most passionate about, that you want to bring to education, to schools, to safety for our youth, which is cyberbullying. And I just wanted to read a little bit of the definitions of bullying. As you said, people may not realize there's different types of bullying. There's just any severe pervasive physical or verbal act or conduct, including communications made by an electronic device directed towards one or more pupil that can have a be reasonably predicted to have the effect of one or more of the following: placing a reasonable pupil or pupils in form. Cut. I can't say it.
You're fine. You'll go.
Keep going.
Okay.
Placing a reasonable pupil or pupils in fear of harm to that pupil or their pupil's person or property, causing a reasonable pupil to experience a substantially detrimental effect on his or her physical or mental health, causing a reasonable pupil to experience substantial interference with his or her academic performance, causing a reasonable pupil to experience substantial interference with his or her ability to participate in or benefit from the services, activities, or privileges provided by a school. And what does it mean? It is a form of emotional or physical abuse that has 3 defining characteristics. Deliberate, a bully's intention is to hurt someone. Repeated, a bully often targets the same victim again and again. And there's a power imbalance. A bully chooses victims he or she perceives as vulnerable. Bullying occurs in many different forms with varying levels of severity. It may involve physical bullying, which is poking, pushing, hitting, kicking, beating up. Verbal bullying, yelling, teasing, name-calling, insulting, threatening to harm. And indirect bullying, spreading rumors, telling lies, getting others to hurt someone. And cyberbullying is defined as threats or other offensive behavior sent through an electronic means to a victim or sent or posted about the victim for others to see. And cyberbullying, basically, it's the Education Code in California states that it's up to a reasonable person would assume that these messages would cause harm to a reasonable pupil. It's never meant to ask a minor if they felt bullied. It's up to a reasonable adult to go, hey, that's not okay to say. That could be detrimental. And the studies show that 90% of minors will say it's a joke just to not have to deal with retaliation or not to look cool or not to be bullied more. And so it's super important with this age of technology that healthy adults teach kids what's healthy.
And it's really expanded, as we were talking earlier, because of the active electronic devices.
That's yes,
and I think
greatly expanded. And there was a study that showed that college students had 40% less empathy. By the time these kids are getting to college, they've had to deal with so much bullying. The studies show 30 to 40% say they've been cyberbullied.
And that's just one of the big things where society has gone. We've lost respect and we've lost empathy. I mean, we've got video games where kids are killing people and raping soccer moms and stealing cars and stuff like this. I mean, there has to be a way to raise kids in a way to keep them from not having respect for others' space.
Right.
And that's my problem with the whole electronic device, because you do not have, right?
You can't feel their feelings.
You can't feel it. It's, hey, I'll just say whatever I want, and then I'll eat a Tide Pod.
And I might even leave it up for 50 people to see.
I tell you what, this is, I mean, this whole, I would have changed, I'm glad you read that, because I would have changed pupil to student. That was a heck of a rubber baby buggy bumper thing. I tell you what.
And I want to mention there's key components in state anti-bullying laws, and they're very, very important.
This is a big thing for you, because last week you missed the show because you were actually talking to senators.
I was giving my amendment proposal to Senator Markey and Common Sense Media. But the definitions are the key components that schools are supposed to do. So you parents out there, you need to know that this is what schools are supposed to do. You're supposed to report the bullying. There should be a investigation and responding to bullying. There should be a written record of what was found and what was documented and what education code violation was done that needs to match the consequences, and sanctions, remediation, so referrals to counseling, teaching people how sensitivity training, etc., maybe suspension if it was very harmful, and a communication plan, training and preventative education, transparency and monitoring, and all of these are the national components of what is supposed to be done by schools. And if
you know what it seems like to me, this should be, it's what it sounds like, and it's there, but nobody does it. It's like sexual misconduct in the office. You know what? Somebody gets harassed sexually at the office. They should open an investigation. They should be doing this. Now, of course, it's all been hush-hush for years. Of course, it's coming back up and everybody's exposing it. And this is what needs to happen, I think, with bullying. And that's what your whole purpose is, Leah, with this whole campaign that you're running. Is
clear
isn't that right?
guidelines and clear consequences and clear ramifications. Yes. And if the administrators don't follow these for whatever reasons, they can be dismissed for not protecting our youth. We do not want that one kid that goes and commits suicide because an administrator didn't follow
or
these,
something worse,
or school violence,
right.
or whatever. However it affects them, the children need to be protected, and I'm really happy that you are committed to that, and you are going to be a champion for that.
So what is your commitment here to this Board of Education, Leah? You serve 2 years, and then can you rerun, or is it 4 years, or how does that work?
Yes, so I'm members of the Board of Education. It's one of the offices that you can run and run and run, so you could actually serve on there for 20 years. So my goals are to end bullying and cyberbullying in this lifetime, to close the achievement gap, and to provide a living wage for our teachers so that our kids can have great teachers and great teachers can live and afford to stay in San Francisco.
Yeah, and I think there's something to say about the teachers too. The teachers really play such an important role. I mean, of course, as parents, I think a lot of parents, espespecially working in California, you got to have a two job income in a family now, right. Sometimes 4. And I think that's so important. And I think we rely a little too much on teachers, but we do need those teachers to be responsible.
The teachers
for this
are the role models for the children.
So what's your? Oh, go ahead.
Well, teachers spend more time with children than the parents actually do.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I wouldn't be creative if it wasn't for my first grade teacher who wore pink every single day. And she was my aspiration for my creativity. Or Miss Wolf, who was my art teacher, who taught me how to see things in the light of a creative person. So my elf on the shelf is amazing every year,
that's
but
awesome.
it brings joy to me.
That's great. That's not pink, though. That's magenta that she's
I had the very best teachers in the world also.
So
I know what you mean. They can make all the difference, so they should be well paid.
To support you in this, give us the website again, Leah.
My website is www.leahpiedmentel.com. That's LeahPiedmentel, leahpiedmentel.com.
So that's the best way to get a hold of you. Touch base on your website. Say, hey, we support you. We're sending you donation money and all that kind of stuff.
And you do have this Kids Day
yes, it is.
of action coming up that you want to invite people to.
With my parent organizer hat with Common Sense Kids Action, we're having our Kids Advocacy Day on the 23rd of April in Sacramento. Yeah. And if you're a parent or passionate about kids, we would love for you to attend and have a seat at the table about what you are passionate about that our legislators have the ability to champion.
Thank you, Leah.
Awesome.
Thank you. You're amazing.
Don't forget to tune into the KIYS Radio Network at KIYS.com, the Kindness in Your Soul Network. Have a good week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Leah.